The diagram shows the support bracket for a restaurant sign. AB is equal to 60 centimeters, AC is equal to 109 centimeters, and the angle BAD is equal to 41 degrees. The first question states that they want us to calculate the length BC. Now here it's BC, all right, so this is BC, and BC is one of the sides of this right angle triangle. So we're really focusing on this right angle triangle. The good news is that we have this side, which is 60 centimeters, and we have what this side is. But we need to figure out what is this side, what is the length of this side, BC. Now, in order to use this, in order to find this side, we're going to use Pythagoras theorem. And this side right here is C, okay? And this side right here is going to be A. And the side that we're trying to find is going to be B, all right? So this side, this whole side that we're trying to find right now, right? We're gonna call that B, all right? So we're gonna call that B. But we don't know what this is, so we have to figure it out. And so we're gonna call it B. That's the missing side. And so let's use Pythagoras theorem. What does Pythagoras theorem say? Well, Pythagoras theorem says that c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared, where c is the hypotenuse, and that's how we know that c is going to be 109, because c is the side that is opposite the right angle, and so it's the hypotenuse. So it is the hypotenuse. So c is the hypotenuse, the longer side, the side that is opposite the right angle, and a is one of the other sides, and b is one of the other sides. In this case, b is the side that we're trying to figure out. And so we're going to substitute. So C is 109, A is 60. We don't know what B is. 109 squared is going to be 1,000. I'm sorry, 109 squared is going to be 11,881. And 60 squared is 3,600. We're going to send this 3,600 over the equal sign. And so we have 11,881 minus 3,600 is equal to B squared. Let's subtract, and when we subtract these two values, we get 8,281 is equal to b squared, but we need to figure out what b is, not b squared. And so we got to take the square root of both sides because we want to get rid of this power of 2. And we can do that by canceling the root with the power. And so we have that b is going to be equal to the square root of 821. I'm sorry, the square root of 8,281. So b is equal to the square root of 8,281. When we take the square root of it, we get 91. So b is equal to 91. And so that means that the length BC is equal to 91 centimeters. Next, here our goal is to calculate angle C. Now we are looking at this right angle triangle, and theta, right? Theta is the angle that we're trying to find, which is C, right? We call it theta. That's the angle that we're trying to find, the missing angle. Now, the side that is opposite the missing angle is what we call the opposite side. So this is the opposite side right here, 60 centimeters. The side that is opposite the right angle is the hypotenuse, and the side that we just found out is the adjacent side, right? That's the adjacent side. Now, we could use any one of the three trig ratios. We could use sine, cosine, or tangent, but I want to use the one that involves the opposite and the hypotenuse. The reason why I'm doing that is because the opposite side and the hypotenuse were given to us. Those values were given to us, and it's safer to use the values that they gave to us. And so with that in mind, since we're using the opposite side and the hypotenuse, we're going to go with sine, the opposite O, and the hypotenuse H. And so sine is going to be equal to opposite over hypotenuse, where the opposite is 60, right? We have that the opposite is 60. The hypotenuse is 109, which we have right here. And we're trying to find theta. We're trying to find what is theta. And so in order to do this, we are going to take sine inverse of both sides. And so that means that this would cancel with that. And we are left with theta is equal to sine inverse of 60 over 109. Taking sine inverse of 60 divided by 109, we get that theta is going to be equal to 33.39848847. And what we're going to do here is we're going to round. So we're going to write this answer correct to the nearest, correct to 2 decimal places. Notice that we have 8 here. Since it's 8, we can round up. And so we add 1 to 9, When we add 1 to 9, that becomes 10. So this becomes a 0, and we add 1 to the 3, and that becomes 4. So it's going to be 33.40. And we do not write the numbers at the end. And so that means that the angle C is equal to 33.40. 33.40. Again, angle C is equal to 33.40 degrees, correct to 2 decimal places. Next, we have angle C. Next, we have question, the third part of this question, which is C, and they want us to determine the length of AD. Now, where is AD? Well, AD is this, all right? So this is the length, AD, right? That's AD. And so this is the right angle triangle that we're looking at, but we really want to figure out what is AD. Now, AD is the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. And so what we have here, and we know it's the hypotenuse because it's the side that is opposite the right angle. What we do have is we have the opposite side, which is the side that is opposite the given angle. And the last side is the one that's left. That's the adjacent. We are trying to find the hypotenuse. That is what we're trying to find. We don't know what AD is. And they gave to us the adjacent. So the two sides that we're going to be dealing with is the hypotenuse and the adjacent. The hypotenuse and the adjacent. And so the adjacent and the hypotenuse, which trig ratio deals with that? Adjacent and hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse, that's going to be cosine. Adjacent and hypotenuse, so we're going to use cosine of theta. And so we have cosine of theta is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse, where the adjacent is 60 centimeters, and the hypotenuse, well, we don't know what that is, so we put x here. And we have cosine of 41 degrees is equal to 60 over x. We're going to put cosine of 41 degrees all over 1. Now, we use 41 because we got 41 from right there. So we have cosine of 41 all over 1 is equal to 60 over x. We do that because we want to cross multiply. And so we have that x is equal to cosine of 41 and 1 times 60. And so we have x times cosine of 41 is equal to 60 times 1, which gives us that x times cosine of 41 is equal to 60 because 60 times 1 is 60. We take cosine 41, we divide both sides by cosine of 41. And so that gives us the opportunity to cancel out these two cosine of 41s, leaving us with x is equal to 60 divided by cosine of 41. And so we have that x is equal to 60 over cosine of 41. So we divide these two and we get that x is equal to 79.5007796. Now we want to write this correct to one decimal place. Not one decimal place. Let's do it to 2 decimal place. So notice that this is 0. And so that means that since it's 0, you cannot round up. So we just leave it as 79.50. And so that means that the length AD is going to be equal to 79.50 centimeters. And that's the answer to this question.